What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's Filthiest Pitches of the Day. Remember, before we get to those pitches, hit that subscribe button. Join Ninja Nation. You're not going to want to miss all the postseason content, and in the offseason, there'll be a ton of interviews, so subscribe, and without further ado, here are my filthiest pitches of the day. We're going to start with Nick Lodolo, who had these absolutely filthy breaking balls on his way to 5 Ks in 5 innings, giving up only 1 run. Opponents are only hitting 144 against that breaking ball and have a 46.6% whiff rate against it. Definitely one of the better breaking balls among starting pitchers. Noah Syndergaard had his sinker, slider, and changeup all working on his way to 3 strikeouts and 5 2/3 scoreless innings. Cristian Javier had 7 Ks and 6 scoreless innings, giving up only 2 hits. He painted with his fastball and had some nasty sliders, including this backdoor slider. His ERA this season is now 2.54. He battled Shane McClanahan, who only had 2 Ks, but they were both nasty. Look at the arm side movement on this 88-mile-an-hour changeup and this 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Pure filth. Pitching duels always make me happy, but another thing that made me happy during this game were the announcers actually had a Tyler Glasnow fail trying to get him to do a Tommy Shelby accent.
If he wants like a taller, goofier brother in one of his movies, then I'm here for it.
Can you do an accent? I think that's the most important.
We're not finding out today.
Okay.
So it wasn't just me who failed. Kyle Freeland had 8 Ks in 5 2/3 innings, giving up only 1 run, thanks to his fastballs and breaking balls, and he got this sword. He outdueled Michael Grove, who had some filthy breaking balls, but gave up 4 runs. Dre Jameson had another brilliant outing with 7 strikeouts in 6 innings, giving up only 2 runs. It had his nasty slider, as well as this sick 97-mile-an-hour front door two-seamer. I mean, that is sick. And then this dirty 96-mile-an-hour sinker. Look at that pitch dive. Jameson kind of looks like a stud, and his ERA this season is now 1.48. Dylan Cease had these nasty sliders and knuckle curve. He had 5 Ks in 5 innings, but he did give up 4 runs. He battled against Mike Clevenger, who looked pretty sharp. He got 3 Ks in 6 innings, giving up only 1 run, and did a great job of multitasking, getting his steps in while shutting down the White Sox. Brian Bayo had this pretty changeup on his way to 4 strikeouts in 4 innings. He was outdueled by Ross Stripling, who had 6 scoreless innings, giving up only 4 hits, and had this nasty changeup. Jose Suarez took a perfect game into the 7th inning and had 6 strikeouts, giving up only 2 runs, and had this filthy changeup and slider. Aaron Ashby had these dirty breaking balls and changeup on his way to 6 Ks in 5 1/3 innings. And he battled Edward Cabrera. Cabrera threw 3 perfect innings with 5 Ks. And check out these 94 and 95-mile-an-hour changeups. That is disgusting. 95-mile-an-hour changeups just shouldn't be a thing, but yet they are. Here's an overlay of Cabrera's 98-mile-an-hour fastball and 95-mile-an-hour changeup, and you can see the difference in movement of those pitches. Cabrera also had these filthy breaking balls. Another Marlins great young arm, whose high-velo changeup is following the footsteps of Sandy Alcantara. Chris Bubich had 8 Ks in 5 innings, giving up no runs thanks to his changeups, curveballs, and fastball. Luis Castillo had 8 Ks in 6 innings, giving up only 1 run and 2 hits, and had these 6 sliders and elevated fastballs. And I love this 98-mile-an-hour fastball and awesome bow or kneel K-strut with a fist pump. Look at Luis Castillo making a late push for K-strut of the year. Kyle Wright had this filthy slider and golf swing. I mean, look at the swing on this. He had 3 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 2 runs. And he outdueled Max Scherzer, who was absolutely amped up. I mean, look at Machine Gun Max. Dude has too much energy. I matched Max's mechanics up with heavily caffeinated Beavis, and it's virtually identical. Max did have this barrel-locking curveball and this sick back foot cutter. And next time you think a hitter didn't go on a pitch, look at this hit by Acuna. Yep, he gets a base hit on a sword. So let's ring up some more hitters on appeals, umpires. Tell Manfred Pitching Ninja said it's okay. This sets up a huge battle between Chris Bassett and Charlie F. and Morton. That's going to be a lot of fun. But my filthiest starting pitcher from yesterday was Nestor Cortez. Nasty Nestor was nasty. He racked up an amazing 12 Ks in 7 1/3 one-hit innings, giving up no runs, and moved his record to 12-4 this year. He showcased an array of fastballs, cutters, breaking balls, changeups. He varied arm angles and follow-throughs. And here's an overlay to show his different arm angles and follow-throughs. You can see how that would mess with a hitter. And Nestor always looks like he's up to something. I mean, look at that devious smile. And he was. Look at this wacky windup by Nestor. Nestor totally effed around, and Mountcastle found out.
The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
Here's a comparison of Nestor's normal windup and that crazy windup. And you can see he'd already be getting the ball back from the catcher on his normal windup as he's delivering his pitch after messing with timing. That's incredible. Here's Nestor discussing how he makes these things up on the spot.
I kind of locked eyes into Raisel when I was doing that. It's something that, like I said before, I do it on the spot. I don't really know what I'm doing until it happens. And, got the strikeout.
Now on to my filthiest relievers. Adbert Alzolay had these nasty sliders. Hunter Brown had these wicked knuckle curves and fastball. He's got to make Houston's postseason roster, right? Ryan Presley had these buzzsaw curveballs. These were over 3,300 RPMs. Evan Phillips had this slider and sword. Zach Weiss had a White Castle special. Brusdar Graterol had this filth. I mean, look at the movement on these sinkers and sliders. And here's an overlay of that sinker and slider, and you can see why you don't want any piece of that. Josh Hader had these overpowering 99-mile-an-hour fastballs. Kenley Jansen had these mean cutters. I had people saying the one down the middle was a meatball, but I put a tail on it and you can see the movement of that pitch. Jansen's cutter is a bit of a unicorn pitch. As you can see in this graphic from Codified Baseball, it has both above average movement and has less vertical drop than most cutters, making it really tough to hit. In fact, opponents are only hitting .238 against Kenley Jansen's cutter middle. The fact that hitters aren't used to hitting against it means all he's got to do is get it in the strike zone. But my filthiest reliever from yesterday was Raisel Iglesias. Check out these filthy changeups and sliders cutting through Mets hitters like a hot knife through butter. Finally, here's an overlay of Iglesias' changeup and slider. You can see what hitters have to deal with. And now, my pitching ninja moment of zen. That swoop in was an absolute pro move.
And then oh no! Did she just? I think she just flipped him off. Did we? All right. Oh no, not again.
What's up, Ninja Nation? My picks of the day today are a 3-leg parlay. First, I'm going to take Blake Snell for 8 Ks or more. And then I'm going to do a same game parlay with Chris Bassett for 5 Ks or more and Charlie Morton for 6 Ks or more. What would your picks of the day be?